Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Well, our cactus has been flourishing in the more literal sense of the fact that it's flowering, and so that's been really fun. The smaller avocados seem to be putting on some good growth. I can't tell you exactly how much, if at all, the pineapples are really growing. They seem to be. I can't tell if this thing is growing or if it's waiting till spring. I took this thing here, took some frost damage, and I don't know now if the stems that we're seeing are new babies or if they are the existing bases that already were here so much. This one here, which seems to have been pretty heavily frost damaged. Oops, I just knocked them off. So, I'm not trying to pick vegetables on the Sabbath, but I just kind of was looking to see how the situation's going here. I've got some little teeny tiny nubbins here. And so I don't know. I see a couple here and there. This one apparently is a baby just being regenerated. I'm going to put these right back down in here. And they'll either sprout or they won't. There's a few different ones in here, hidden in amongst the cover. I'm just keeping them under cover so they don't turn green, mostly. Not that that's even a problem, technically. This thing is struggling, these two, but they're not dead yet. This one has got, oh boy, it grew up really fast. It had little tender shoots on it, and all of a sudden the tender shoots filled right out pretty fast. Oh, here's some more. Yeah, maybe I just didn't see where the tender shoots were. And then this one, new bit of growth. This one, some of that is new growth. That's got new growth. That's got new growth. I can't authoritatively say I see any sprouting spudlets in here. They're in there, but whether they're sprouting any further or not, some of them already had stem on them. This thing's got a little bit of new growth on it here and there. Not a whole lot of big, massive changes per se in here. The spindly pear is still putting on new growth, but it comes and it goes. It grows and it dies and it grows and it dies. Some of these little breaking pieces are still alive, even though they're broken off from a bigger plant, self-separating. And then some of the various cacti in here are alive. I meant to show, I didn't get it. I had gotten this previous week, this nifty little pasta making device, and it's got all kinds of goodies in there. There's a whole kit for pasta extrusion. See, it's got, like, right now it's got lasagna type noodle nozzles on it. It's got all kinds of nozzles on it for extruding pasta. Pretty nifty device. Hopefully I'll be using it eventually. Don't get me wrong, I won't forget the pasta roller, just they have different applications. Yeah, for the most part, the bulk of what's in here is relatively unchanged from how it was last time I mentioned it, so we'll just carry on with what big major changes are going on outside. Because, well, I do have some fairly noteworthy changes. I have been over here. Something is digging in there. I don't know if it's the big animals or not, because that was all flat, and it looks like little paw prints in here. Something's been digging around in this wall I've got up here. So I've dry stacked these blocks back in place after I dug down. That right there is not just spillage. There's a couple inches of premix that'll harden into a solid concrete footing here. And I'm going to put some rebar in, and I'm going to take this board and that board, and I'm going to lay them across here as a form. I'll take that thing off. Unfortunately, it's in the way for what I need to do. So I'm going to take all that framework off of there, and I'm going to run that right flush up against the wall at this height, all the way across here. And that's why I've got things like my laser and cement mixer, and not cement mixer, but trowel, concrete trowel. I had Big Red down here. That's why there's concrete bags here, but it'll be back. We'll be looking at it here in just a moment. It's a little cold out here now that the breeze is kicking up. Anyhow, so when this is done, it'll all be over across here and capped off and have a bolt on it. So I dug that all out, that chunk of rock over there. Let me just get right up to it so you can see it a little better. That chunk of rock came out of there. One thing I've definitely determined is that is right at the edge of a fault, and therefore this thing could tip over. In fact, it might be why it tipped over the first time. Hopefully it won't tip over again, but we'll see. Anyhow, so let's go ahead and go look at everything else before we spend eternity just talking about one thing. Or one aspect of one thing even. So, coming up here, now because of the fact that we did have rain, and you don't want to get your bags of cement wet, I parked Big Red in here in the garage to keep the rain off of the cement. Hopefully here pretty soon I'll be back out there and finishing it. So I still got 10 bags of Sackcrete here. Just got, like I said, I got them in here so that they're not getting rained on. I haven't done anything else anymore with the freezer yet because I've got to set up with some, I bought some resin. I've got to build myself a surface for it. Of course, little pony's out here because I needed the room to keep the cement dry. Over here I've got, in these containers, I've got some compost and stuff that was dug out of that place where we were just at with the wall. There's some of the rain that was dropping on there. So I've got the dirt over here, and that's to have it stay safe for gardening, and then hopefully it'll be gardened in soon. My elephant garlics, some are not doing well. So, well, I thought they'd do pretty well. Some of them are doing, like this is buckling. It's gonna, like that one was buckling and I uncovered it and it's doing fine. I'm gonna do the same on this one here probably tomorrow. And then some of these pink garlic are coming up, but not very well. Got very limited success on the survival of the lentils, but they are surviving, some of them. And then a couple more garlic here, and the sage, strawberry. Now the white garlic, now see, this is the pink garlic. It's a wild garlic, and it's arguably not as big. And then of course the elephant garlic, which is supposed to be really big, it's actually a leek and not a garlic. I got a piece of stick shoved in the truck. I got to get out of there. So these over here, they are going just great. I mean, they're even though they were being nibbled on a little bit by some of the critters in the area, they are doing very well, comparatively speaking. They're growing fast and aggressive, so hopefully I'll get something out of them, even if I don't out of anything else. My little mystery mustard plant really seems to be super happy. Even though some of the outer leaves are turning yellow, it's just extracting the energy out of the old leaves to put into the new leaves. And so it's growing considerably. It's arguably at least 10 or 12% more mass than it was before, but it was that high. Now it's 3 inches high, so it's changing around. Again, some more of these yarrows that are struggling to be real. I dropped a corn seed that may or may not do anything in there just to see if it would germinate. Admittedly, it could be a GMO type of corn, which would mean it'd be something that I wouldn't want to propagate. But since I don't have any other corn around here, I don't have to worry about contamination. And I don't know that I'm ever even going to try to raise corn. Alright, coming down here to follow up with the busyness that's somewhat related. Sorry about the wind. Okay, so the timber that I got from the dumpster the other day, I put over here so that I would be able to set up this workbench. I'm going to get it all leveled out just right, but the idea is I'm going to cut a cement block in half a certain way so that I can finish that wall I was pointing out to you. And so I got my tile saw down here. Had a broken piece that I went and I used a soldering iron and some of that E6000 glue to make it where it'll hold just a little water, and then it'll go back under there, of course. And then I'm going to try to set up both of these. There's two of these. I'm going to put one on each side, frame it in, and what the idea is that'll make a table where I can run the cement block across here, because it ain't going to work on that wood. Especially, in fact, I don't have enough table for a 16-inch block. If you look at how big a cement block is compared to that table, it's a tile saw. And it's not set up to be a cement block saw. Therefore, to have a 16-inch cement block cut through there, you pretty much have to have some support. So that's where that's going. Unfortunately, I really didn't get anything very much else done. Well, this thing is just flaking apart, isn't it? I'm going to have to lose this top of this welder completely here. It's just completely rusting all together apart. So, man, I don't know what's doing that, but it sure is corroding. I guess I'll just have to fix it somehow or another. Probably actually weld more metal to the top of it or something. Who knows? So that is, that's it. That's the whole shebang. That's the whole week's worth of work, just that I can think of anyway. If there was anything else, I can't remember it. Doesn't look like much, but it was quite a bit, because I had shovel tons and tons of dirt and rock and use a rock hammer and stack cement blocks and go to town and get some cement bags and put it in there, and it's not done yet. So that's pretty much the end of what all I got done this week, and well, hopefully next coming week we'll be able to show you some more progress. So in the meantime, hopefully y'all have a blessed week and a happy rest of your Sabbath. Again, Shabbat Shalom, and we will see you in the next report.